Hey, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Money Talk. Hi, I'm your host, Linda Kay. And today we're going to talk about a whole lot more than just money, how you can make money, how to monetize things, how to get money when you need it and you need it fast and you need it now and you want it now. No, I'm not talking about Cracker Jacks either. But you will find the magic prize with our guest today. So I have two things I want to ask you. What have you been doing for yourself? And great, really doing for yourself. Put it in the chat, send me a DM, whatever it is that you want to do. And stay tuned because I've got an exciting show for you today. Linda gave me the courage, the confidence to move forward.
And after I was finished with Linda Kay's training, I was at the next level.
It's Linda Kay. But when you trust that piece of you that says, I got something to give, I have something to say, you know you've got something to do.
Get on your feet, shake your hands in the air. Welcome to the stage, Linda Kay.
And we are back. And I did say that we've got somebody really excited. And I say this every week because everybody that I have on my program is interesting. Otherwise, why bring them, right? So today's no exception. You know, Money Talk first started out because I really was afraid to talk to the camera. That's really how this started, believe it or not. And I thought, what do I really like to talk about? Well, it turns out that I like to talk about money, how to get it, how to invest it, how to think about it, how to get more of it. And so today we're going to be talking about a number of things, about how you can monetize the simplest of things that you've been doing, the things that you're interested in, the things that, well, you're probably spending a whole lot of time on Instagram or a lot of time in multi-level or picking a business and things that you really want to figure out. How can I make more money? How can I make a bigger impact? And what can I do more of that I can have more of that green stuff? So welcome to the stage and to my show today, my very, very special guest today, Kim Ward.
What's up, Linda Kay? Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, I love your energy. Kim, talk to us a little bit about life in general, because you know, you don't just have a life in general. You have a spectacular life in general that most people are looking at through the eyes of what you put out for us on Instagram. Why is our social media so important?
Well, I think you can really showcase behind the scenes look into your life, which most people like, what's going on back there? Show me what you got. And I love to do that. I love to invite you in. I love to bring you in, and I love to show you transparently what's going on over the shoulder. So, yeah.
You know, you bring up a really good point, and thank you for saying that because, you know, I grew up in the generation that says no, we don't talk about ourselves, and you don't get to see what we've got in our room. In fact, you know, if virtual screens have been available, that they'd have walked around with a virtual screen on them, right?
Right.
So you just didn't. And it took me a long time to kind of warm up to the idea of, because you had busybodies and you had people that were, you know, misusing the information back in the day. And
Yep.
and it's not grandma's Facebook anymore, is it?
No. Sorry, Grandma. Wah, wah, wah.
How personal can you get personally?
You know, I think there's a fine line between airing your dirty laundry versus allowing people to come in and see the authenticity, to be transparent and let people know it's not about comparing your blooper reels to my highlight reels or vice versa. We're all human. We all have things going on that are great, and we all have things going on that are not so great. And, I don't understand why authenticity is so applauded instead of being the norm. And that's one thing that I do very well is bring that authentic self, not a persona, to social, right? So that we can build that like, know, and trust factor with our clients, with our friends, with our customers, and with those people who are going to want us to be referred out to their network as well.
You know, it's a really important piece of information that you just gave, Kim, because today it's more important for us, you know, when trust it as is at an all-time low in the single digits, if you can imagine. You know, what are some of the best ways to be able to build trust with your audience? And before you answer that, you're not going out to just a business page. It's who you are. It's how you present in yourself, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I was saying, you know, when you are willing to shut up that like inferiority complex or
I'm
the
not good
imposter
enough.
syndrome.
Yeah, there's something wrong with me.
Hold on.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. You know, and it's like we all have such a divine purpose. We're here for a reason. And I tell all of my students, I tell all of my clients, listen, you have a product, a service, an opportunity with your personality, your skill set, and yes, even your background, no matter how dysfunctional that seems. Guess what? You're the exact person that the world needs. And when you show up in a very authentic, transparent, consistent way, trust is going to be built through truth and consistency. If you choose not to show up in any one of those manners, then you are robbing your audience from a transformation that only you can help them have. And that's a damn shame.
Oh my God. Preach it. Preach it, Kim. But one of the hardest things for us to do is that consistency. You know, let's use Reels, for example, right? Reels are a simple way for us to communicate in person or as close to in person as possible about what we are doing, a moment in time in our lives.
Yeah.
Why is that? We walk around with these things all the time, right? We've got them
Right.
all the time. Why aren't we doing this more consistently and putting it out there? That I think that's a tough question to ask because you're not in the head of other people, but you are in the minds of other people. So talk to us about how we can become more consistent in that.
You know what, Linda? I will say that when you are suffering from inconsistency, I want to say that the mirror, right, is pointed at you. You're looking inward. You are not in that time looking at who are the humans that I can help. Because if you were focused in thinking of them, their pains, their problems, you would want to show up consistently as the solution. I remember 2016 is when I first launched my business from home. And I used to run to my office, my home office at the time. I kid you not. My hair had to be perfect. My makeup had to be perfect. I would shut my door and ready for this, I would tuck a towel under the door, like where the wedge is, because I didn't want my husband to hear me from outside in another room. And I was so focused.
Who hasn't done that? I was thinking that it was the witness protection plan that you didn't want anybody to hear you, right?
Yes. So I'll tell you, I was focused inward. I was focused on me and I was wondering, what are people going to think about me? And Linda, that's so selfish. I've got a lot of tips for those humans who maybe you want to batch your content. So what I do is I think I have this thing attached to my hip. And my family now, they understand, look, we have this beautiful life. We travel to London. We're going to Puerto Rico in 2 weeks. In April, we're going on a Royal Caribbean cruise. We tithe at church better than most humans I know because we can, but they understand that this is a part of how we live the life we do. And so I take a lot of footage, even if it doesn't make sense. I will use that at what we call B-roll footage. So if there's ever a moment of inspiration that I'll sit there and create music or text over it, I know that I have things in the can on my camera roll where I can use one simple software system. I use something called Metricool. It's free. Of course, there's a paid option, and you're able to load those into, the Canon for the week and send those out to all of your platforms. So if I take an hour on a Sunday, for example,
put that name in there, and I'm going to have my assistant have that run across the screen.
Yep.
I think that was an important piece. All right. Karen, if you could just scroll that piece of technology. I think that hack is really important because one of the things that stops a lot of people, I think, well, I just don't have the time to do this. And you just gave the best solution, which is to batch this stuff, right? When we start talking, we know that reels are just are just a minute or 2 minutes long, right? So do we ever, if we start talking about something, girl, we're on a roll. We're going to church with this stuff, right?
Let's
We've got
go.
more to say. And then we got to take a breath. So there's one roll.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. And I will tell you, if I'm in the training seat, I will actually advise against anything longer than 60 seconds. And I'll tell you why. I have a client, her name is Summer. She's in the early childhood education space. Last year, Summer had her first $50,000 day, Linda Kay, from a 45-second reel.
$50,000? Seriously?
Day.
All from a reel?
One reel. She was pointing people to her calendar link. She was talking to the right humans, right? She was being consistent. She was building this audience. They booked a call with her and she sold 2 back-to-back $25,000 packages. Now, of course, not everyone has a high ticket program like that, but hey, if you do, there's some great inspiration for you. My recommendation for 60 seconds or less is because some of the platforms, one of them being YouTube Shorts, currently doesn't allow for anything over 60 seconds. So if we record very short, topic-specific, on-point focused video vertically, using that Metricool tool, you can send it out, ready for this? TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, and Pinterest. Yes, Pinterest. 6 platforms in less than 5 minutes. Boom.
Mic drop moment. Dang, girl.
You got me all wound up. I'm like,
oh my God. Well, while we got you wound up, you do teach a course and you teach a number of courses. And of course, that's one of the ways that people can get introduced to you. Yeah. But I think that the value that you put into that course and the simplicity of it, it was just like, hey, I'm not technical. And there are times where, I have a virtual assistant and, if I've got her working on something else, then what gets dropped? Usually my social media, and so having a simple hack like that, and I needed to learn how to use it. Why is this important? Because not everybody's using 6 platforms. Now let's talk about the platforms for a second, because most people choose 2 or 3. Okay. Yep. So, and we can drop, especially if we get some good stuff, right? We get, like people repost it and, if you got a number of reposts or people are sharing it, you can boost it, put a couple of dollars behind it and just boost it. So you can go, boom, you've got a lot of attention. What do you say about the 2 or 3 platforms or people that are kind of pressed with technology? How do you overcome it?
She's hitting a nerve here. She's hitting a nerve.
Right, let's go to church.
Let's go to church. Okay, we're going to digital marketing school right here. So I recommend having 1 or 2 platforms where you're going to have your influence on. These are the places where you're ultimately consistent. Your audience knows you're very engaged. If they were to message you on these 1 or 2 platforms, that's where they can expect a response. And the other platforms are there for you to maintain a presence, right? If we try to do it all on every platform, we're going to lose our sanity, especially if you don't have a VA or support staff in position. So I will tell you, if you want to get good and great at TikTok, you have to be posting super, super, super niche specific topic videos. You have to post 3 times a day and you depreciate within an hour, right? With Instagram, you have to be very present, very engaged, very on all the time. You have to post 3+ times a day. You have to do Instagram lives and your content depreciates in 5 minutes if you're lucky. I love YouTube. That's one of my favorite platforms. It's a great search engine. Your content will last about 24 hours. Facebook as well. I still love Facebook. You call me what you want, but I've made a lot of money on Facebook. And my favorite platform is Pinterest. And that is because you can suck at marketing and your Pinterest pin will still live on an average for 4 months. So even the worst of the worst. So you have got to spend your time, more importantly than your money, because time is our most precious commodity. You've got to spend your time pouring into those platforms that are going to give you longevity and that are going to help you boost out into the world. Pinterest being a search engine as well. So for me, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest for sure.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So let's wow the audience a little bit more. Let's start with you started as a little cottage industry. You started, which means you started in the bedroom with the towel at the base of the door.
Yes, I did.
I just love that.
True story.
Oh my God. But you had other things going on, right? You kind of look at this and you go, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to go out and you have to feed the goats and you have to feed the chickens. And yes, audience, she has goats and she has chickens. And go out to Pinterest because you're going to die. You're going to want those little tiny baby goats as you're sitting there and they want to crawl up. They want to get up on top of you. I'm dying. I'm laughing all the time every time I see your videos. So if you have not seen Kim, go out and see on her Pinterest account because she posts there all the time. Look her up. The thing is, though, Kim, something occurred to you one day and you started making money.
Yeah.
Tell me about that journey.
You know what, Linda? I think I was at this point in my life, my husband was making a very healthy 6-figure salary at the fire department. We lived in South Florida. And I was doing the busy work in my business. I was making myself look good on social media. I was not doing the things I needed to do, the income producing activities, because I had a security blanket.
What are those activities, Kim?
Talking to humans, right? Putting out relevant content and making offers, speaking, right? Writing your emails and growing your email list. So I was winning on the popularity contest, but my bank account was like, wah, wah, wah. It was horrible. I had a big goal to retire this man from fire service. I remember when we had our baby girl, there were one day in particular, 6 hours had gone by. I had not heard from my husband. My imagination was running away from me. And I literally thought the sheriff was going to be pounding at my door saying, Mrs. Ward. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I want to retire this man. Well, we did retire him and moved from Florida to Tennessee. And at the time, my business was still not doing what it needed to do. So he had to go back to work, working construction full time, Monday through Friday. He's not used to this work schedule. Neither were we. And I kept telling him, just quit. And he'd look at me and go, you're not making what we need you to make. And I'd sit here in this office and I'd bite my fingernails and I'd stress out and I would still not rise to the occasion. And Linda, here's the moment. He called me one day and said, hey, babe, have you got us? And I lied through my teeth. And I said, yes, I do. And he said, good, because I just quit my job and I'm on my way home. And I hung up that phone and I dropped to my knees and I bawled my eyes out.
Oh my God. Because now you're going, how do I find those nuggets, right?
That's right.
How do I find it? What do I do? Lord God. And why is it, Kim, that we wait so we can have prayer, we can have our morning, our morning devotions and the things that we do for us to stay and to stay connected with our source.
Yeah.
But boy, when we have a crisis, we get down on those knees, don't we?
Here's the thing, I am such a believer and I have so much faith, but we're still human. We're still flesh. We're still going to get in our way. We're still going to make excuses. And that moment changed everything because we can be pressure perform or we can be pressure paralyzed. And I chose to come into this office and let that pressure push my back against the wall and say, okay, you chicken shit, it is now time for you to step up, find the courage, find the belief, and do the things you've been avoiding. And then the next
mic drop moment. Definitely. Okay, guilty as charged. Holy cow. Seriously?
Yeah.
That is when in that moment where you go, oh my God, what am I doing? Right?
I was scared.
You got pushed against the wall, but did you stay there?
I got to work. I didn't have time to stay there. I didn't have time to worry. I didn't have time. I was like, I got to get going. The next 4 months, just from my Facebook profile alone. No other platform, no paid advertising, just me and my social media, Facebook. I created more than my corporate salary in just 4 months. Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
That's not crazy. That's the power of prayer. That's the power of commitment. That is the power of durability, which you talk
Yeah.
about all the time, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
in that focus, did you have a product?
I had me. I was my product.
You're the
You know?
product, right?
Yep.
And so many of us just sit around going, I really could use some extra cash. I'd like to send the kids to the dentist,
Yes. Kind
right?
of important.
I need to feed the kids. I need an extra baby needs a new pair of shoes, right? Or you say, I want to set up my studio and I need a microphone. I need a better microphone and I need better lights and I need none of those make any difference. It's taking action, taking the necessary action and move into action, taking those steps.
My God, now
yeah.
you're taking us to church. Yes. I can't tell you. And I think I get mad because I'm talking to the old me, but I'm like, imperfect action is always, always better than nothing. Get out there and do it. Get out of your head, get out of your own way. You need you. The people that are waiting for you to get brave and show up need you. And like I said, you are robbing them of a transformation that only you can help them have. The time is now.
Time is now. Time is now. So then your husband quits his job. He comes home. He sees you working like a mad woman. In relationships, typically, one's going to be stronger than the other at times, and then the other is going to be stronger at times, and the other one's going to lean on him. That's that's the give and take of a relationship.
Yeah.
Did you get that? Did you find that I mean, you've been married for 11 years now, Kim, so I'm going to guess the answer is yes, but I want you to tell me, how important is getting support?
You can't believe it, sister. I knew this man was special. I know that support is so important, especially as women. We think we can do everything. We think we can do it ourselves. We want to do it ourselves. We can't do it ourselves. So
No.
this man, without asking him, without him being told, without any kind of leadership, he stepped into position. I kid you not. I don't remember the last time I've cleaned a toilet, Linda. He does the cleaning. He does the cooking. He does the grocery shopping. He has
Wow.
stepped up into full speed ahead to give me the space that I need to make this business run successfully.
And that's what you got to have. Look, if you don't have it in a mate, then you've got to find it. You
Yes.
have to find it. I'm a solo act and have been a solo act for well over 22 years. That was just by choice, and now choice is like, okay, the selections are kind of are drying up. I better get busy.
Oh man.
Oh my
I'll
God.
tell you. I'm going to show you something. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. All right. Didn't I tell you she's special? Didn't I tell you she is like a fireball? And you want to know how to get into Pinterest. You want to know how to get into social media. You're going to reach out to Kim. You're going to go find her. But that's not the only reason why you're going to contact her. And I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay. So my husband, being the man that he is, right? He's still retired. He's not a work-at-home dad. He's not a stay-at-home dad. He's a do whatever the hell he wants dad. And so I said, great, now we can be a power couple. We can do this thing together. And he said, under one condition, will I ever be on social media? And will I ever be on any Zoom meetings with you? And he sent me Fathead Rich. He sent me a freaking cardboard cutout.
Nice. Very nice. Oh my God.
So he's also got a sense of humor.
Oh, listen, if anything, having a sense of humor can save the day in so many ways.
Yes.
I was a judge recently on a panel of speakers as they're just starting out in their speaking career. And some of those things were so tough to hear.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to one of the questions about content and content specific and relevance. Just because you grew up on a farm and seasonally you had to go do a very unpleasant task like castration, Doesn't mean you need to get up and go talk about it, right?
I've made videos. They're on my TikTok. The goats in the back of my Beamer getting castrated. Oh,
Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Yeah, cool us down here for a moment.
I'm telling
What
you.
courses, if people were going to find your courses, how would they find your courses? You've
The
got several
easiest
things.
way, just go to successwithkimward.com and everything is right there for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if being successful, doing multiple six figures wasn't enough,
Yep.
you decided I need to do more.
Why
right?
not? Come
Well,
on.
why
Why
not
not?
more, right? And you stepped into some multi-level marketing stuff.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a second. How did that come about, and why did you use the platform, and how important was your platform that you're able to use and get the traction?
Yeah. What a
you're
great
getting?
question. So back in 2020, I was on a Zoom with a financial coach. She leaned in on me and she said, okay, and this question is for you too. She said, what would happen if you were unable to physically work your business for 4 consecutive months? Now, I'm not going to say what I said to her because there was a lot of profanity, but that is the moment I realized I may have been escaping the corporate world and I may be working from home, but I was still very much trading time for money. And you may be as well. So we have to have the conversation of leverage, of residual income, as well as passive income. And I think everything is very evolutionary, right? We can't come out of the gate when we haven't built an audience that trusts us or that knows us yet and start to assume we're going to create passive income. It's got to be one before the next. But there's four types of wealth. The first one is your primary business or your job. The second is your assets, your home, right? Things that are sellable and scalable. Third is your future planning, your 401ks, your IRAs, your stocks, that kind of thing. And number 4, just as important, is leveraged or passive income. And it's critical, Linda, as you know, that income comes from a place outside of your primary job or business. Being self-employed, you may have a tough season. Things may get difficult from time to time. But if you have those other streams of income, you can do more, have more, be more. And so the platform that I've built has generated thousands and thousands of people around the world that know me, that trust me, that like me. And yeah, I mean, not only have I just earned a paid mastermind in Puerto Rico, I've earned a paid cruise, and I've been in this company for a very, very short period of time. And I spent a little time at number 1 in the company for enrollment. And that's because the like, know, and trust factor, right? That foundation that you build is so, so important on your platforms.
Let's talk about that for just a second. The know, like, and trust is a double-edged sword, because if the product sucks, well, that's on you, isn't it?
Right? Well, hey, bad judgment call.
So there can be lots of things. So people, I remember, and for whatever reason you get into multi-level marketing. For me, I did Mary Kay back in the day, and mostly because I was my number 1 client.
Yes.
I used a lot of the product, right?
Great products.
And there are other products, but one that is really as easy as yours. Talk about it for a second and tell our viewers what that product is.
Well, I'm wearing the pants right now. It's athleisure wear. And I literally sat here and thought for a moment, well, I'm not a big fashionista, but then I'm like, well, I kind of am. You want products that people are already interested in. They're already buying. And I don't want to sound so cliche, but we all have skin. So we have to clothe our body. We need skincare. And so that's where our consumables come in. When I saw this athleisure wear, I thought, well, for me and most women, right, we're either in yoga pants or leggings or something comfortable from the waist down and dressed from the waist up, especially nowadays. So I thought, well, this is a no-brainer. In being the Pinterest expert that I am, I went right to Pinterest before I made my decision, and I started searching for keywords that consumers are looking for. And I found that with almost every single product that my company offers, there's over 5 million monthly searches. So this was a no-brainer for me because I knew I could help a lot of people. I could help them feel comfortable. I can help them make money. And I launched a brand new Pinterest account. And today, it is still the fastest growing account that I have ever seen created for me or for my clients. It's pretty cool.
That is really, really cool. And it doesn't hurt that they sell multiple products. So skincare and leisure wear. And I hadn't ever tried the product until I got a big tub that it was like, who the hell stuffed that in my mailbox? I didn't even have a return address, right? It was just some big thing that I know that the USPS spent some time pushing it into the mailbox. And when I got it out, I was like, this is ugly. This is just one big old huge ugly green powder thing. And I put it because I was told you have to drink some of this. So I figured out who it came from, tasted it, and I was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something that looks that ugly. Talk about hiding the broccoli in the chocolate.
It's amazing. Yes. I just had that conversation with someone this morning. This is like a neon green superfood in a powder, and you expect it to taste like grass. And it's like, oh, this is actually really good.
It is good, right? And that it tasted like mango and
Yes.
I'm like, and a true mango. And then I'm like, well, I wonder if I could put it in something else. And I did. And it was like, no, I really enjoy it just all by itself, you know. So an energy booster that, you know, most of the time when you go to a store and you pick up an energy boost powder or powder boost of whatever, it isn't as chock full. It's chock full of all kinds of things you don't want to be putting into your body, or have that meltdown like the sugar rush and
Yep.
crash. And so, you know, having a product that is vegan, that has been sourced with so many good products.
Yes.
You don't happen to have a can of that by any
I
chance?
do. Let me tell
Oh
you.
yeah, let's show them. Let's show them because I want to prove the fact that what I'm talking about is real. Okay, it's a simple little plastic bottling, right? And it just looks like, and there you go. And simple word, boost, right? So you think, okay, I'm going to get boost, and there's nothing jittery or jumpy about it. And I've taken it at all kinds of different times of the day, not before I'm going to bed, but in the morning or at midday. Some people need that extra pickup. I need it. Coffee wasn't enough. Look at the green. Okay.
Look how green that is.
It is real green. Okay. But it, you know, and I've had energy drinks too, Kim, that you'll drink it and, or put it in something and shake it and it's still got clumps of this stuff. So you're getting clumps of powder in your mouth. Right? Ew. No, this stuff not only looks good and tastes good, but it actually mixes well and consistently. So being a savvy individual and you just signed a lot of people up for this product. If you're interested in this product, contact Kim. This is Savvy. How do you spell Savvy?
SAVVI.
Not with a Y. It's
It's so funny because a couple years ago, I launched this program and it was called Savvy with a Y on social. So I own the domain savvyonsocial.com.
How good is that?
Yes. I didn't know years later I'd be with a company, Savvy with an I.
Isn't that cool? That's really, really, truly awesome. Oh my gosh. And you know, we are busy. We have busy lives. We have, you know, so many things that we're involved in. So, you know, there was just one more thing. And when we're thinking about, you know, having a source of income, you know, having your downline is equally as important because now what you're talking about, Kim, is having that passive income. So
Yes.
if you've got subscribers or you know people that are selling in your downline, they're selling and then they're continuing to sell and they're recruiting and then they're selling. So that money is a very, very solid investment of your time that you leveraged on your own existing platform that you'd already built.
Yep.
It gives us the time to do the things that we as busy women do as we get older. And that's taking care of aging parents.
Yes.
And I can tell you that I understand this extremely well, considering my mom will be 93 in a couple of months, and she's still alive and kicking. And there have been many challenges to staying healthy. What are some
Yes.
of the ways that we can do as busy women help our parents stay focused or stay relevant? Because, as we age, I don't care what age you are, I'm not in my 20s, so I can't do certain
Mhm.
things, right? Or I look at things that I used to do in my 40s and now my 50s. And when we change jobs or we
Yeah.
change what we're doing, we still want to have that sense of relevance, don't we?
Yeah.
How does that
Absolutely.
how do we help our aging parents do that, still feeling relevant?
I love that so, so much. I will tell you, I shared with you, I'm a complete open book. My dad had been diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer, and he was given a 5% chance to live by his medical team. They actually paid him to be, we'll call it a guinea pig, because he was placed into science books. They used him as a kind of a lab rat. And he pulled out, he's been in remission for some time. And now we're kind of going through some things right now, which is fine. We'll get through this. But the worst thing we can do for our parents is to kind of let them sit somewhere and deteriorate. So my husband and I, we have a 9-year-old daughter. She plays basketball. She's into all kinds of programs. We make sure my dad is involved everywhere. He comes everywhere with us as a family. And thank God my husband doesn't find him as like a nuisance. He's just part of us. Last year we went to London and we explored London. And I'm like, my dad, our
You
parents
take
are not
him
to be
along? Did
around
you put him
forever.
on the bus, make sure that he had a good tour?
He did. He went to see the Crown Jewels. He went on a bus. He did the walk on
Yes.
the Tower Bridge. We have amazing, incredible pictures to show for it. So, like I said, we bring him everywhere. And we know, you know what, we might have to move a little bit slower, but it's worth it. It's
Isn't
so
that the
worth
truth?
it. Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? A couple of years ago, back in, I'm going to say it's now been 5 years, my mom was battling problems with her eyes and eventually became blind as a result of the glaucoma. And she moped around for a good 6 months,
Mm.
Lord Jesus, just take me now. And I'm like, Mom, I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. I think, when our warranty's up, we expire. And it's somebody else's choice, not ours, unless we do it by hand, right. And I said, well, you should be thinking about your legacy. And she's like, legacy, I can't even see anything, right? She's just mad. I'm like, well, Mom, she says, what do you mean? I said, well, you should think about legacy before you're 6 foot under.
Mm.
And she said, well, what do you suggest? And I said, a book.
Yep.
And she said, I don't know if you noticed that I'm blind. She's a little feisty one. I
I
said, well,
like her.
Mom, you may have lost your sight, but not your vision.
Mm.
And
I like
that's an
it.
important thing for all of us to remember, is that we have something in us, right? There's
Yep.
that spark of the divine in every single one of us, that we have more to do, that we, until our expiration is up. And, some people live past the expiration date as well. And, you know, the, the interesting part is at 92, and only a couple of months ago, my mom, let me finish the story of the book. I said, I don't know if you noticed that I have eyes. I can be your eyes. And the gift for me and the gift for my family was being able to take that legacy and put it into a book form. Miracles on My Doorstep became an international best-selling book. I put
Wow.
her in front of 1 million people across the country just because of that. And it gave her this new surge of life, this new surge of purpose. And just like your dad, he's like, where are we going next,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He can't wait. It's like the minute I put on my shoes, the dog's like, where are we going? Right?
Yes. That's amazing. Oh, that's amazing.
We give of ourselves, how much comes back to us?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
much that comes back to us. And that was an important question for me to ask you about that sense of purpose, because many people think, I'm taking care of my parents and that's kind of a drag. And yeah, find something in it that gives you joy, something that gives them joy at the same time.
Gratitude, right? I mean, I was at the
Yeah.
hospital for 10 hours last week while my dad got an infusion. And I have my laptop, I have my phone, And because I learned the value of leverage, the value of compounding efforts with our own and other people's, we can work from anywhere. And I did. I got a lot accomplished in that infusion room while he was there. So, like you said, we go 2 weeks, we're leaving for Puerto Rico, and he's packed and ready. Like, let's go.
The interesting thing about what our parents and yours and mine have in common is that they're told they're not going to get much further. And I had a guest on last week that literally this next coming week is on all kinds of apparatus and machinery. And it was a gift that we could exchange time with you. So thank you for that. Because his hours are measured and all of ours are. Some are more aware of it than others, but in that measurement. In this past year, my mom fell and she broke her leg. Now, the woman's bionic. She's got, she's got new knees. She's got titanium hips. She's got, she's got pins in her back holding her together. And when she broke the leg, she broke the femur. So it's the piece where the apparatus actually fits into. And so it's circular breaks. And at the hospital, I didn't know that there's a death room. Did you know that?
No.
So it's a large room. It's a larger, usually could hold 4 beds. And so, if you suddenly find that it's a big room and there's nobody else in it, you might want to ask about your charts. They didn't expect her to make it through the surgery.
Wow.
And they did not expect her to make it through her recovery. And how important is faith? And I know that this is a strong question because she is a woman of faith. You're a woman of faith. I'm a woman of faith. How important is that reliance for our recovery? What does it do mindset wise?
Everything, right? It's everything. I remember when my dad was given a 5% chance to live, they actually didn't tell him because they said if that gets into his head, that's all he's going to fixate on, and then he will himself. And I thought, the word tells us to rest and be at peace and lay your worries at my feet. And that's what we do, right? So when we have that faith, we know it's in divine timing. We know that it's part of his design. And as a believer, that's more than enough. But that mindset piece, we call this the big piece of fat between our ears. Whatever we feed that thing, that's what it's going to fixate on and gravitate towards. So faith is everything.
It really, truly is. I can't believe we are actually out of time. And all I want to do is say what a fast-paced 45 minutes we just had. I can't even believe this. I want to put up on the screen again how people contact you, but I think you also have something for our viewers so they can reach out to you. So Karen, can you bring that up on the screen for us so we can talk about what that is just real quick? And you have some events coming up and other things. So I think that's real key. Yep, Pinterest Marketing Academy. I'm telling you what, that is the bomb diggity. If you want to learn how to use Pinterest, she is the Pinterest queen. Go and sign up for it. Sign up for it. Sign up for it. Sign up for it. What are you waiting for? You're still here. Go sign up.
Thank you so much, Linda Kay. Thank you for
again.
having me. It's been a pleasure.
It is such a gift. It is such a pleasure. It is just an honor. I have one more question.
Yes.
How important is it to get coaching?
Oh, when I go bowling with my daughter, we have the bumpers up because there's no way I can get through a round of bowling without being catastrophic and destruction to my game. That's how I look at life and business. You need a mentor, you need a coach to keep you on path, on guide, accountable, positive, help you see and do the things that sometimes we can't see or do for ourselves. So it's imperative.
Choice. Oh, so good. All so good. Again, thank you, Kim, for being on the show. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap, folks. I told you you would just be so thrilled. And our conversation is never dull. So join me again next week. I've got something even more interesting to talk about. stay tuned and share this clip with everybody that you know will benefit from how to get their social media platform on the move. See you next week. Do you like to talk about money? If you do and you'd like to be a guest, contact me at lindak360.com.